All right, and you are back. Thank you so much for joining me for the part two of the 3 steps that you can take right now to ensure that your students are engaged and they are ready to learn this school year. Now, the first thing we covered was to pour the right fuel. And we talked about the fuel not so much being the actual gasoline. It is the mindset. It's the positive thoughts that we pour and think into our minds will allow us to do things that maybe we haven't done before. Now, step number 2, what I need you to do is try again. Now, when I started out with this lawnmower that my grandpa got me, that thing would not start on the first pull. I would give it a pull, it wouldn't start. I'll give it another pull, it wouldn't start. Usually, it took at least 3 to 5 pulls. I'm talking good pulls, where I gave it everything I had in order to get that lawnmower started. Now, just like that lawnmower, your students are going to need a little bit more support and a little bit more pull in order to get started on the right track. Now, when we're talking about engagement, we're not just talking about the student doing their work. We're asking them to actually be engaged in the conversation and what we are talking about subject-wise within the classroom. Now, we know it's easy for us as an adult to get sidetracked and want to look at this and want to do that and maybe want to reply to that email. In order to get your students engaged in the conversation, to get them really involved in what is going on in the classroom, you're going to need to pull again. See, you're going to have to reach out to them in a way to where they can relate to you. You know, like, hey, Justin, it's good to see you in class today. I am super excited about the subject that we're talking about today. Find a way to relate it to something that you know that they like. For example, I like to play video games, and I wish my teacher would really take the time to relate what she's talking about or what he's saying to me in the terms that I can actually understand. Now consider this. A way that you could do that would be, let's say it's a math problem, for example, and you know for a fact some of the students, majority of the students in your classroom love video games. They may not play a game that you mentioned, but they're familiar with it. So for example, let's say that you want to use the example of Roblox. Roblox is a video game that has multiple different types of games into one central location. Now, if you're playing Roblox, a lot of times you have to build something, you have to combat against something, you have to win a level in order to step up to the next one. Now, a good example of that, if you were teaching a math class, would be, hey, Justin, I was thinking, when you're playing your video game in Roblox, and let's say that you have 10 jewels that you need to accumulate in order to get to the next level. Now, usually when you go out to get those jewels or to collect all of those jewels that you need to move on, you're going to have to go to different places to get them. And you're going to have to add one each time you get it because you can see them adding up on the top of your screen in your player mode. Well, if Justin, you need to have 10 jewels or 10 diamonds to get to the next level and you only have 5, how many more do you need to get to the next level? Well, if I had 5 diamonds, I would probably need I would need 5 more. Yeah, I would need 5 more diamonds to get to the next level. Okay, now back out of the example. I know that it's very elementary when I say 5 and 10. We're talking small numbers in order just to get the point across. Your students need for you to relate the information to something that they can relate to in order for them to be engaged in what you are talking about. So you might have to try that one time and that pull may not actually work. You might have to try it a different way, right? You might have to give a different example when it comes to Oh, you see a lot of girls in your classroom who are fashionable, right? And they have their nails done. And you're like, hey, Emily, well, how much would it cost for you to go and get your nails done? Well, it costs, $28, and I usually tip. So it's $30 in order for me to get my nails done. Well, Emily, if you only had $25, how much more money do you need in order to get your nails done? Right? And I'm bringing this small an example for Emily and yourself to really relate to that student. Now you have to pull in order to get things started. So you're gonna have to pull. It's gonna not feel like pulling teeth, but it's gonna feel like you need to do a little bit more to keep them engaged in your conversation, because they need to relate to you. If they feel that you can relate to them, I guarantee you're going to have that student locked in for the rest of the school year, because they're going to go home, they're going to leave your classroom talking about how good of a teacher you are, because you made me feel like I was seen. You made me feel like you understood me. You made me feel like you cared about what I was interested in. That is how, number 2, you are going to get your students engaged to start off the school year. Stay tuned for the 3rd step.